Today we're going to be I'm going to do something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and it's thoroughly deboning a chicken. So I've done this before, and I'm going to try and take you guys through it. It's not the easiest thing in the world. First of all, I would sort of start by cracking the sort of breastbone, and you just do that by giving it a good press down there. And then once that's done, I go through it, I cut the backbone out, and before I do that, I get rid of this little butt here. Right there. I just cut the backbone out. Okay, so the backbone's been taken out, and now I'm just gonna get rid of the leg. And all you need to do, you need a sort of a nice carving knife, like one that's not too big, just something this size, you know. And then, my goodness, this is the really tough bit. I mean, it's always messy. Sometimes you're gonna rip the skin. Just, you know, don't be afraid. So what I'm now trying to do is to just get out the ribs, and I'm gonna use the knife. I'm just sort of gonna slowly prise it away from the meat without sort of ripping it and ruining it terribly. I'm just going to go behind the bone, behind the ribs, and separate it from the meat. And when you do this, you really do sort of commend butchers, because it's not the easiest thing in the world. It's such an art form. Okay, so that's out. And just sort of use the knife to part the meat from the meat from the bone and all the cartilage and all that sort of stuff. I'm using my fingers where I can as well. Okay, so this side is all sort of done. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and I'm going to go behind the ribs and just slowly and carefully strip it from the meat. Yeah. I mean, in some situations, you can never completely get the bone to be just 100% bone. You'll always have meat kind of like stuck to it. So, I mean, don't kill yourself over that. Let's just try and get out the ribs. That's what I'm trying to do. And I know you're probably watching this going, that is not very pretty. Perhaps this is more a challenge than a tutorial. God. Okay, So now this is almost out. Now I need to get out, separate the sort of ribs from the wings, and so you need to cut on the joint, because when you do, then everything sort of comes off easier. You can't cut on the bone, so cut on the joint. Okay. Alright, that's come off there. And I suppose you would use the same sort of principle for any kind of bird, really. So a turkey, a duck, see what I mean? Like you could never really get, well I suppose you can, but don't kill yourself if you get it off, but there's lots of meat on it. Like, I'm not a butcher, I'm just keen. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. No ribs. Now I'm going to go into the thighs, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut open the meat to expose the bone, and once the bone is exposed I'll cut it on the joint and just lift it out there, and then cut it on the joint there as well. It's not a neat job, it's going to be messy, but we'll see.